do you want to be that student? Not just that girl, but you want to be that student. Always has their stuff together, always getting good grades, always smells nice, always looks good, and they just like look so put together with their life, and you're like, low-key, I want to be like that. This is the right video for you because I'm gonna tell you guys 10 tips on how to essentially glow up or just, you know, incorporate better habits into your life to become that student. Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Serena. Let's just get right into it. But I will start off with a bit of a disclaimer. Yes guys, I don't want people like coming on here and spewing hate or, you know, having low self-esteem towards themselves. That is not what my channel is about, okay? I'm just doing this sort of video because it's fun and I see other people that do this, and I think it's just great to always want to improve and just, you know, set better goals and set better habits for yourself, especially if they're healthy. But of course, if you find that a lot of this is just pressuring, overwhelming, and doesn't actually benefit you in a healthy, positive way, don't take the advice, okay? Like, I know lots of people are going through so many different things at different times, and obviously there's just lots of things to balance while you're still a student and while you're still in school. So no, my tip is not just gonna be study harder and here are tips to studying better. Like, that's not gonna be it. I have a lot of videos up about that. Number one, guys, and I think I put this at number one because I think it is so freaking crucial. If you want to smell good, you gotta have good hygiene. And okay, I know sometimes I'm like, yeah, it's always the guys. I'm sorry, but it's not always the guys. Nothing to be ashamed of. It's normal, especially in the summer when it's hot and sweaty outside. But just remember, you know, take showers, take care of yourself, wash your clothes if they're getting dirty, wash your hair if it's getting dirty. I think another big thing is deodorant, okay? If you're not gonna shower, at least wear deodorant. I am begging you. And then on top of that, if you want that extra little sparkle, wear perfume or cologne. But this is in modesty because there's people out there that are really sensitive to scents like me, and I will get a headache if I sit next to you. Number two is to stay organized. I think this is really important. Just as a student, you know, if you haven't used a planner or an agenda before, I think now is the right time to start, especially if you're always like, oh, I'm gonna be organized next year. Okay, this is the year, guys. We're gonna lock in and we're gonna be organized now. Personally, I use Notion, you guys all know, and yes, the template is coming. I know you guys are like begging in the comments. The template is coming. It will be out at the end of August or the beginning of September, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, just check out a couple of my other videos. I'll link them down below of my Notion template and just my Notion workspace. You can also use Google Calendar, which I love using. I always use it to stay organized. I literally block off not only my timetable, but also like literally everything, like clubs, extracurriculars, time I'm spending with friends. That's all on my Google Calendar. You bet if you text me, oh, Serena, want to meet at 6 p.m? That is on my Google Calendar. You are part of my calendar. It'll be so much more organized and your brain will thank you. Number three, set goals. And not only set goals for yourself, set minimal but realistic goals for yourself. So I always do this. It's always in my Notion as well. I always just set 3 goals for myself at the beginning of the year, and I just try my best to be able to achieve them or just try and maintain them throughout the year. I'll tell you guys what my goals were for last year. I have some fall 2023 academia goals. So my goals included take breaks that don't require a screen, stay curious about learning, and be more open-minded to all topics, even coding. I put that in brackets because I know enough and I'm good enough to get by, but it's not like I'm enjoying it. So yeah, I wanted to just be more open-minded to a lot more computer topics just because I'm not really that into it. Just set 3 goals for yourself that you know are decently achievable. So some really great ones are, you know, go to bed at a certain time every night, or maybe go for a run like every other day if you're able, or even just once a week, or drink however much water per day. Like simple, healthy goals that you know are decently achievable, and once you're able to actually start working at them, like again, baby steps, not huge giant leaps, you will be able to, you know, slowly incorporate them into your life and just feel better for yourself the more that you are able to achieve them day by day. Number 4, this is a big one also. Number 4, and I feel like a lot of people, I don't know if they stress this enough, join extracurriculars. Like ever since high school, I've been a huge extracurricular person. Just join some. There's so many that are offered at your school, and especially once I entered university, I was like, I need a break from studying and academics. I joined extracurriculars, and boy oh boy, it's just so fun, and it's so great to be around different people and to kind of like share the same passion. So I'm on not only a design team, I'm also on intramural sports. There's so many clubs, especially in university, you can join. I know we have like public speaking if you want to improve on that. We have origami clubs, we have dancing clubs. Like there's so much opportunity out there, and you literally, all you need is for your initiative to join them. Number 5, take care of your health, and yes, that means take care of your sleep schedule. I know it gets so easy to fall into bad routines and just go to bed at 2 a.m., wake up at 8 a.m. for your 9 a.m. lecture. No guys, we want at least 8 hours of sleep a night. If possible, 10 hours of sleep. I would say like whenever I have a good night's rest, my skin looks really good the next morning. And when I don't, I look dull and I start to break out. This is just so important. Please take care of your health, and please have a pretty good sleep schedule. Number 6 is to set screen limits. I know this is so difficult. Trust me, like my Instagram screen time is literally abysmal. That's why I have a screen limit for it. I have a 1 hour screen time limit, but sometimes I just keep clicking like turn off limit for today, turn it off for 15 minutes. It's really bad. My self-control is really bad. So when that ever happens and I feel myself falling into the trap again, like now in the summer when I have nothing else to do but scroll, I a lot of the times just delete the app completely from my phone, so I just don't have the urge to open my phone and immediately swipe to wherever it is. It's like muscle memory almost. Instead of doing that, just delete the app. So if you're addicted to Instagram, if you're addicted to TikTok, the first thing you can do and the first step is to even be self-aware that you are addicted to the app. And that means, yes, spending even 2 hours a day on the app, I think is like, what are you doing? Like literally think about that. Like 2 hours, you can go through a really good book. 2 hours, you can learn something completely new in life. 2 hours, you could even spend walking around for like a long time with your friend and talking about meaningless things in life. Like 2 hours is a long time. And so if you're just scrolling on these apps and you feel like, again, you're just brain rotting and your attention span is getting smaller and smaller and smaller, guys, we need to up that attention span for the school year. How are you gonna read a chapter of your textbook if you literally can't even look at it for like more than 2 minutes? Like, what are we gonna do? And I'm talking to myself at this point as well. 7th thing, like obviously I'm gonna say this, but to be a better student and to be that student, you just have to study smarter. And I don't want to just be like, oh, just study and like you will get good grades. Like, no, obviously, like anyone with a brain knows that. I'm saying you want to study smarter, not harder. And there's many different ways to do this, especially depending on what sort of field that you are in. Starting off, just watch a couple of my videos. Not just for the self-promotion, but I have a lot of really good study tips in a lot of my videos. Start with usually the hardest parts first. I know we always like to go straight to the easiest questions, but I recommend really starting from the harder parts. And again, make sure you're learning it and really try to ingrain like how the actual concept works and the foundations of the material. Otherwise, when you get to that exam and you're under all those nerves and stress, every single thing is gonna fly out of your brain, and every single problem that you did is gonna fly out of your brain, and the things that you will really remember is what you have learned. So make sure you remember and you actually learn the concepts and not just memorize them. Number 8, don't take everything too seriously. And I'm not saying this in like a, just don't be so serious about everything. I'm saying like good grades are not everything, and good grades do not define you. There are so many aspects of you that can define you in terms of how great of a person you are, your personality, how funny you are, the people that you surround yourself with. Just make sure that you are surrounding yourself with people that you genuinely like. Don't get caught up in a toxic environment, especially in a toxic academic environment. It can be so draining, and that's coming from someone that was in that environment in first year. It was just so many people comparing grades constantly. Remember, that's not what defines you. An A on this test does not dictate whether you yourself are a great person. Don't let good grades and academic validation sort of blind you from your overall mindset and your overall personality, because trust me, there are bigger things in life to worry about. Just always think about that video where like they zoom out from like the earth to like the entire universe, and we're literally like a speck of dust in the entire galaxy, and then our galaxy is one of like a billion galaxies, and then within the entire universe, which is continuously expanding like literally every day, the earth is like a speck of dust. It's smaller than a speck of dust. Number 9, yes, number 9, romanticize school. So I think this is a really great thing to do, especially when coming back into the school year during the fall. If you guys are starting school in the fall or even August, just romanticize school, because I know it's really easy to lose motivation. Just remember why you're doing this. I really like to step back and look at the big picture and be like, why do I want to be an engineer? Or why do I want to be a doctor? Or why do I want to go into history or learn about English? Like, really think back on what made you pursue this in the first place. And that's why I think it's so important to choose something you're very passionate about, or at least that you really enjoy learning, because otherwise you will feel very discouraged eventually when you really don't enjoy what you're learning. And I always like to think about the fall time, what the weather is like, the outfits that I'm gonna wear to school. Oh, it's gonna be so cute, and just the Gilmore Girl vibes. And finally, tip number 10, don't compare yourself to others. I think this is like the most important tip, especially when looking at all of these sorts of school advice videos where it's like how to be that girl, how to be that student, how to be that girl that you're so jealous of and envious of. There will always be someone that you think is handling life better than you are, but that is totally not the case. We're all having so many different lives, and just think the next time if you're jealous of someone, how much better that energy could be if you just uplift them as well, and instead of being jealous, compliment them, or just say a nice thing and be like, hey, can you actually help me on this? Like, I saw you're so good at this, like, can you help me on this subject? And I'm sure if they're also a nice person, they're more than willing to help you. And yeah, just remember that everyone is just dealing with every situation very differently. I hope these tips really helped you guys just to get into that mindset and be like, yeah, I can be that student this school year. And it's not all about grades. It's not all about that productivity mindset. You don't have to be grinding 24/7, because that is how you get burnt out. Instead, just become that version of you that is the most healthy and uplifting version of yourself. And I always like to think the more positive energy that you can spread and the more positive energy that you can give yourself, the more you will just feel better and do better in school. That's just how it is, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, be sure to like it and comment down below and subscribe if you haven't already, because girl, that Notion template isn't gonna come out by itself. If you wanna find it and if you wanna see it, you gotta be subscribed and get notified when I post that video, and along with all the rest of my other back to school videos that are coming out, and my study vlogs that will be coming out as soon as the first day of uni hits. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Love you guys so much.